It's a sincere pleasure to be able to host you all here this morning, this first morning of Drupa 2016. We are incredibly excited about what's happening here, what we're going to be unveiling, what we're going to be showing, and you're here for a press event, so we want to do this as efficiently as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a little snippet, about a quarter of an hour, of what we're presenting to our customers. And then I will come back and we'll start the press conference itself. Okay? So welcome everybody. Thank you very much. See you in a short while. Bye.
From the beginning of time, man has left his mark. Graphically, first with paint, and then with ink. Nearly 600 years ago, Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press and changed the course of civilization. From that day, printing has remained a mechanical process, able only to duplicate the same image over and over again, until Landa's invention of the digital printing press.
When Gutenberg first invented the printing press, though he surely didn't imagine the technologies of today.
This powerful technology will impact all printing markets, from packaging to personalization, and from book publishing to short-run color printing. So where will all of this lead? Do you know where this leads? It leads to the run length of 1, to the individual document, to the targeted publication, to the personalized product. Anything that can become digital will become digital, and certainly the printing industry will be a digital industry.
Wow, I have seen the future, and it's worth waiting for.
Today, digital printing produces billions of high-value printed goods. But despite its many successes, digital printing remains a niche technology, producing fewer than 3% of all printed pages in this $900 billion market. Why has the industry been slow to replace mechanical printing with digital? Why has inkjet, invented in the first half of the last century, failed to penetrate mainstream printing? What is the difference between inkjet and nanography? When will digital printing finally be able to match the quality, speed, and cost of offset printing? Here to answer these questions, the inventor of indigo electrophotography and Landa nanography, holder of over 800 patents worldwide, ladies and gentlemen, Landa.
So ladies and gentlemen, welcome and good morning. Good morning again. You know, for 25 years, I led Indigo's team of scientists and engineers in the development and then commercialization of the world's first digital color printing press. And then, when the company was acquired by Hewlett-Packard, I redirected my focus to an entirely new field of research, nanotechnology for alternative energy. That was 15 years ago. Now, with a growing team of some 500 scientists and engineers, we at Landa are developing new nanotechnology breakthroughs. They range from nanocosmetics to biopolymers, from nanomedications to nanometallics. It is that research that led to the development, to the invention of nanopigments. And the nanopigments led to nanography, and that we unveiled 4 years ago here at Drupa. But before we talk about the future of printing, I would like to tell you how nanotechnology is already now changing our lives.
Well, that went well. Now where was I? Oh yes, nanotechnology is the science of ultra-small particles. Particles so small, they're measured in nanometers. Billions of a meter. How small is a nanometer? Well, a sheet of paper is 100,000 nanometers thick. And since I started this sentence, your fingernails have grown 10 nanometers. Nanomaterials enable the creation of extra hard coatings, super strong materials, and of course, beautiful, rich colors. In collaboration with the leading companies in their fields, our scientists and engineers at Landa are applying the power of nanotechnology to create products that enhance our lives. We are creating a new kind of automobile paint that will enable cars to have breathtaking luster, purity, and depth of color. We have developed nanopigment filters for television screens that will impart unprecedented contrast and superb picture quality. We are working on nanomaterials to increase the efficiency of solar cells while lowering their cost, helping solar energy replace fossil fuels to make our planet a cooler, more sustainable place to live. For the cosmetics industry, we synthesize nanomaterials that are super absorbers of dangerous ultraviolet radiation, protecting your skin from solar damage, aging, and cancer. We have also developed a new hair color technology that uses nanopigments to produce vivid, long-lasting hair coloration without harsh chemicals. Soon you will see nanotech food labels, letting you know exactly when the product is no longer fresh, putting an end to wasted food, saving billions. But perhaps the most exciting of all nanotechnology opportunities is in medicine, where our nano-drug delivery technology will enable faster, more potent, targeted treatments to fight pain, cure disease, and save lives. So why are we telling you all of this? To illustrate how nanotechnology will impact our lifestyles, our economy, and our businesses. And there's no business that will be more greatly affected than printing. And not just by nanography. Here at Drupa 2016, we are unveiling a new nanotechnology for producing metallized graphics called nanometallography. Metallized graphics are widely used, especially in labels and packaging. Upscale products commonly employ metallization to make their products more appealing.
but the use of metallization is limited because it requires the use of foils, which are expensive and very, very wasteful. Here's how nanometallography works. A single layer of metal nanoflakes is formed on the surface of a donor roll. Only 50 nanometers thick, the nanoflake metal layer is offered to the conventionally printed trigger image, transferring it only in the image area where it bonds instantly. Since only the metal used in the image is consumed, there is zero waste, enabling nanometallography to cost half of conventional foil printing. It is fast and easy to use, simplifying the production of complex metallized graphics. And unlike foil, nanometallography is microwave compatible. Landa nanometallography can be used with virtually any printing process, whether mechanical or digital.
But that is not the reason that most of you are here at Drupa. Most of you are here because you're probably asking yourselves, what will be the next digital printing technology in our digital era? Will it be inkjet? Will it be nanography? And what's the difference between them anyhow? The fundamental difference between inkjet and nanography is that with inkjet, wet ink contacts the paper. But with nanography, there is no wet ink paper interaction. You see, ordinary paper stocks, coated or uncoated, all absorb ink. When the wet ink contacts the paper, it penetrates the paper. That means that much of the pigment ends up not on the surface where it can absorb light, but buried deep inside the depth of the paper, wasted. The ink can even be seen through the back of lightweight paper stocks. And because the wet ink also wicks along the paper fibers, the images are not sharp. This inefficient use of ink means that you have to use a lot more of it to get acceptable densities. But more ink means more water soaking into the paper. So much water, in fact, that drying becomes very difficult. High area coverages become difficult to dry, limiting high-speed inkjet to either low density or high area coverage jobs such as books and transactional mailers. Moreover, because different papers have different absorptions, print quality is entirely substrate dependent. So, substrate dependent. So, how does inkjet attempt to deal with this problem? Well, if you can't print efficiently on ordinary paper, you have to use specially coated papers to control ink penetration. But
Okay.
hey, thank you.
On.
I'm over here. But specially coated stocks are not only more expensive, they're not what your customers want. How do you think your customers will react when you tell them they have to use specially coated papers? Of course, because they want you to do their jobs on the papers they choose. Now don't get me wrong. inkjet is a great technology for home and office use, as well as certain industrial, commercial applications. But to replace offset printing, you must be able to print at high speed and at high quality on all paper stocks. That, ladies and gentlemen,